It may be challenging for students to keep their attention focused on their academic studies and stay connected with their teachers and peers when learning online. Effective engagement strategies help teachers overcome these challenges by providing opportunities for students to build relationships with others, cultivate self-efficacy, and develop autonomy or self-direction. For many engagement strategies, it is essential that students have a voice and that they feel heard and supported in their social connections beyond initial academic instruction. This can occur through opportunities for assignment revisions and utilizing the feedback cycle to support students' critical thinking and self-reflection. Additionally, teachers can develop or adapt assignments or assessments to promote student choice, offering various formats to learn content and demonstrate growth and mastery. It is also vital to listen to student concerns or criticisms and to encourage them to take ownership of their learning. Getting students to engage in online environments takes work and effort, and designing schedules with engagement in mind is beneficial. A mindful schedule for online learning should be consistent and predictable for students and their families. More often than not, it will not be an exact replica of the schedule designed for a face-to-face class. A scheduling template, like a weekly planner that includes a week's objectives and daily tasks, may be helpful to communicating expected student engagement. However, it is important to recognize that in many situations, teachers do not have the final say in their students' online learning schedules. Online learning can be synchronous, asynchronous, or a combination of synchronous and asynchronous. For synchronous learning, in order to boost student engagement, it is important to make use of video conferencing sessions to conduct whole group discussions or small group discussions, such as think, pair, share activities. For example, once students are divided in small groups, breakout rooms can be used for discussions. At the end of the small group discussions, volunteers from each group can share out with the whole group. For asynchronous learning, applications such as Nearpod, Flipgrid, or Padlet can be used to promote student sharing and interaction with their peers. It might be beneficial to intentionally plan some asynchronous learning tasks or activities before or after the synchronous classes. Designing tasks with engagement in mind is essential. When creating tasks for increased student engagement, it might be beneficial to allow students to brainstorm different ideas and select the most appropriate one on their own, rather than telling them what they will need. This promotes learning tasks that stimulate students' thinking, in which students consider multiple perspectives and solutions instead of passively absorbing information. To promote active involvement in the learning process, teachers can move from procedural to problem-solving approaches. This might also help foster peer support and teamwork. In blended and online learning, students need to quickly and easily identify what they need to do to engage. Clarity, coherence, and compression are three essential elements that an engaging online environment should include. Specifically, clarity can be achieved by setting clear intentions and providing constructive feedback and specific guidance. Coherence can be used to promote consistent ways of thinking and ensure students are all acknowledged and supported and are evaluated consistently and equitably. Compression can be achieved by splitting content and materials into smaller chunks and targeting appropriate individual skill levels and needs. Utilizing activity variation, multimodal representations, and prior knowledge activation are three ways to increase student engagement. When possible, providing students with various learning activities, tasks, and assessments that match their characteristics and preferences will likely increase student engagement. Also, it is beneficial to provide information and instruction through multiple modes of representation, such as text, pictures, audio, and video. Utilizing multiple modes of representation when delivering instructional content will increase opportunities for students to engage or re-engage in the learning process. It is important to identify students' prior knowledge and skills. This will help to determine how to tailor instructional content for individual students, either supplementing to lessen skill gaps or encourage academic challenges. To achieve greater student engagement, teachers should consider their instructional strategies. Using game elements in online instruction can help students understand that engaging in learning can be fun. When students are awarded with points or displays of progress, such as leaderboards, students often show increased engagement and enthusiasm in learning. Gamification techniques can be utilized in all subject areas and at any grade level. Also, it might be beneficial to provide video-based instruction and support, as many students prefer learning by watching someone demonstrate and explain instructional content. Platforms such as Padlet and Flipgrid can be used to support peer engagement and collaboration through text, pictures, drawings, videos, and hyperlinks. Additionally, authentic, real-life learning scenarios can be used to facilitate student learning, increasing engagement through real-world relevance. Maintaining student attention and engaging learners is challenging in online environments. It is important to be deliberate in the structure and strategies used to foster engagement. Additional resources for strategies for engaging students in blended and online learning are available on this webpage. Resources include a printable summary, related examples, articles, blogs, infographics, and videos, and links to other related blended and online teaching hub topics.